Hi, hello everyone, and welcome. This is Sopho, Postgraduate Product Manager at GBSB Global Business School. Thank you so much for joining for today's info session and for your interest in our PhD program. In just a moment, you will hear from Dr. Victor, the head of the institution and president of GBSB Global Business School, followed up with our current PhD student who will share her valuable insights and personal experience with you. And at the end of the session, we will also have the QA where we will be happy to answer all your questions. In the meantime, please feel free to write your questions in the chat. All right. Without further ado, I'm pleased to invite Dr. Victor to begin the presentation.
Thank you, Sopho. Good evening, everyone. It's great to see such a big audience just in front of me. Let me present the main facts about the PhD program we are offering. By the way, again, I'm Dr. Victor Patena. I'm the Dean of GBSB Global Business School. For those who don't know, we are operating 3 campuses: Madrid, Barcelona, Malta. But well, it's not that relevant to the PhD program, which is online, but just for your information. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. What you can see is different accreditations we have as GBSB Global. It just gives you the overview of the kind of stamps of quality which each of these organizations gave us at some point of time. By the way, we are currently involved in some new accreditation projects, including ACSB, which are starting the journey. You may know this is the most respected, well-known accreditation agency, and very demanding, but the journey will take a few years, but hopefully will be successful. What is the most important on that list in the previous slide, but we can see that here as well, is MFHEA. I just want to emphasize that with this program, as well as all the programs we are offering at GBSB Global, are accredited officially by the government agency in Malta, which is MFHEA, Malta Further and Higher Education Authority. So what you will be studying is the officially accredited program recognized all over Europe, all over the world, because that's how the system works. The professional accreditations you just saw in the previous slide are just something additional, like a stamp of quality of the programs we're offering. So again, it's very important that what we're offering is the official Doctor of Philosophy in Innovation Management program, which is level 8, accredited by MFHEA. It's a full-time program which lasts 3 years. Speaking of the accreditation, again, it's important because, as you may know, in some countries, what is being allowed and offered is so-called private degrees, which are, well, more or less the same, similar level, but it doesn't give you the rights. They're not often recognized abroad, or doesn't give you the right to continue to the next levels. So, for example, I have a few cases recently of people who did a doctoral program elsewhere, but then they realize it's actually a private degree, so they are moving to us to continue with us. Okay, let's move on. Well, we believe what we offer is a flexible, well-structured program designed for aspiring scholars because, as you will see in a moment, this PhD is what we call bioresearch. So it's not only 3 years of coursework when you start in different subjects and then you have some kind of final course, but it's most of the program will be focused on research, and you writing the dissertation and then hopefully publishing as well. And for that, of course, you need to develop certain research skills. And of course, we have some coursework as well, which will prepare you, get you ready for this dissertation phase. But having said that, it also prepares you, the program as such, is also preparing you for professional careers in innovation management or related fields, because innovation is everywhere. So I think the field is very broad, I would say, but I will talk about that later again. But moving to the actual program, what you can see is the program structure and all the modules you will be taking. And it's relatively simple because, as I said previously, it's a PhD by research mostly. So starting from the bottom, if you have a look, you can have a look at the last line, line 7, PhD dissertation. It's year 2 and year 3, which means out of the 3 years, these 2 final years will be spent solely on working with a supervisor and working on your dissertation. But prior to this, so you can have certain skills for research, as you can see, you will have a range of modules focusing mostly on methodology of research, which is the first one, then research in this specific area, which is innovation and entrepreneurship, and then, of course, quantitative methods, qualitative methods, and then 2 electives. You can either choose in line 5, knowledge management, or artificial intelligence in the future. So we have 2 electives. You can pick one. Before you actually finalize the first year, there's a short module when you will designing your research proposal. But this time, unlike you probably know that when you apply, and you also have to apply with a research proposal, which is something preliminary. But this one would be really serious and becoming like a plan for the actual dissertation. So again, as you can see, the first year is fully what we call coursework, modules, one after another, most of them focused on research methods. So you have proper skills, so you can move to the final stage, which is PhD dissertation. So this is the overall structure. It's good to remember that's how it's designed. Well, it's logical, especially that you will see later during the second year. You will also have to work on some kind of publication paper. You will have to submit also to prove certain skills in research before you even finalize your dissertation. Okay, I can see the chat. Someone is asking if you have to. Let me go back to let me go to chat. Excuse me. Okay, so the question was, you decide on final. Yes, exactly. Yes. So at the end of the first year, yes, during this module called designing the research proposal, you should come up with a research proposal, which means decide on the topic of your dissertation. Of course, what happens, and that's possible, that you can still change that later on, but under certain conditions, and also it means that, well, you will have less time, yes, to actually finalize your dissertation. So the consequence might be that you will have to delay, which is again possible. You will have to extend the PhD program by 1 year. It's allowed. So just be careful, yes, because this could be the consequence of you deciding after, let's say, at the end of the second year, that's for different reasons, you don't have proper data, or you have to, anyway, you have to change the topic, and then you kind of wasted 1 year. You have to extend the program by 1 year, and it will last 4 years instead of 3. So possible, yes, but basically, ideally, you should have your topic ready by the end of year 1. Okay. Of course, feel free if you have any questions in the meantime while I'm talking. Feel free to ask questions. Okay, so actually, what you can see is, again, I just discussed it. Yes, the year 1 is fully what we call coursework year. It's every term you will have 1, 2, 3, not 1, but 2 or 3 modules, mostly focused on research, and then later on you move to doing your dissertation. Of course, in the meantime, there will be a couple of things happening. Again, I will talk about that later. A lot of networking, a lot of work with data collection, trying to publish, trying to attend a conference. Because as you can see here, I mentioned that before, one of the conditions for you to meet during the program is to have at least 1 scholarly article ready for publication before you present your dissertation at so-called pre-defense. Well, the condition is to submit it, because we know that the publication cycle is sometimes very long, so no one will wait 2 years to publish. So it's the question of having the article developed, ready to submit it. This will be sufficient. Okay, let's try to move on. By the way, okay, let me just mention one more thing, that during the second year, if we can go to the second year for a second, to the previous, yes, okay. I said that during this year, well, it's a lot of work with actual research, data collection, analysis, and you will see that we also started a tradition last year of organizing the doctoral, we call it colloquium, which is like a doctoral conference, where at the end of year 1, each of the PhD students or candidates, as we call them, attend the conference, and we also have some keynote speakers. So it sounds like a serious conference, but then you will have to present. Of course, you don't have the paper yet or the dissertation yet, but you will present the research proposal to all the attendees, just to get the feedback or make sure that the proposal makes sense. It's good enough to become the research project. And also this year, and I'm sure we'll keep the tradition, we'll publish the proceedings from this doctoral colloquium in the form of book of book of abstracts, which is formally published as a book. So actually, this is going to be also your first, unless you published something before, your first publication. Okay, fine. Let's move on. And then, well, dissertation itself, which is the main challenge of the program. Probably I don't have to explain what the dissertation entails. Well, but there are 2 options. One option is, which is what traditionally is being done, is simply writing a monograph on one topic, which should be between 50 or 80,000 words. But there's also the other option, which could be a collection of a number of separate articles, scientific papers. Of course, they have to be somehow linked in terms of the theme. But again, there's a choice of doing that as well. So you can have one monograph on one topic, but you can have a collection of, let's say, 3 different papers, somehow related logically around a certain theme, but not necessarily on the same topic. Okay, so that's important. There are 2 choices in terms of what the dissertation should look like: monograph versus a collection of a number of 2, 3, or 4 scientific articles. I just want to add as well that's because the topic of the name of the program is innovation management. So the research you do, and then the topic of the PhD dissertation has to be somehow related to innovation. But innovation is such a broad word that well, this usually is not an issue. Having said that, I also want to emphasize that we're talking about the level 8, which is the highest academic level, yes, because if you graduate from a PhD, you have what we call a terminal degree, yes, which is the final degree. There's nothing above that. So you really have to prove that you know, a mature researcher, and the topic you have chosen was chosen carefully. The research you did was really thoroughly conducted. The research questions you're asking are interesting. Methodology is solid, etc. So just to give you an example, because basically in research, doing research means you just come up with interesting questions, yes, because you want to discover something no one else discovered, or explore a certain topic no one else explored before you. So it's really important, yes, to come up with an interesting question, or then interesting hypothesis, yes, you will be testing. And just to give you an example of what I mean is that I will talk about something from my field. I'm a finance person specializing in company evaluation, privatization programs, etc. And the typical topic of papers in this area is, for example, testing what's the relation between privatization of state-owned companies and then the company's performance after they are being privatized. I'm assuming you believe that after the company is privatized, it should be more efficient, yes, because it's private, so it's easier to manage, more focused on performance, etc. Anyway, it's a good topic, yes, and you will see many papers on that or similar topic, yes, privatization versus company performance after that, before and after. But then sometimes, imagine people think, okay, so someone did this kind of topic in a certain country like France, and then I can do exactly the same using the same methodology, the same sample size, but well, let's say in Spain. So the question is, well, is it really an interesting question? I mean, to some extent it is, because each country is different. Maybe you will discover something else. Yes, but if then you will have another paper on the same topic, but in another country, then where the question is it really something original, something you will contribute to the knowledge in this area? Well, not necessarily. So what my point is that really what I'm saying is it might be okay for 1 paper, 2 papers, or master's level, yes, but in research, actually we're looking for some original, innovative topics, research questions, interesting hypotheses. Okay, so if you could please keep it in mind because that's quite important. All right, okay, let's move on. So as I said, the innovation field is kind of broad. So you can see a couple of examples of what topics you can touch upon. It could be digital business, AI, knowledge management, entrepreneurship, technology, innovation management, or innovation in any other field. Yes, in HR, in accounting, because it's happening everywhere, especially now when we can use all these new technologies and then somehow analyze what impact they may have on the fields which were traditionally done a bit differently. Okay. Now, what is really important, because you will spend 2 years with those individuals, is the choice of supervisors. Again, at the end of the year 1, you will have to choose a supervisor, and then you will work individually with those people, meeting regularly, and then sending them drafts of your dissertation for feedback, for review, and then constantly improving your work or following the advice they will give you. Well, from my experience, it's so important to have someone who can really help you and really direct you the right way and give you proper pointers. Of course, we have a pool of supervisors who were in this role many times previously. So you can see some of the names here, but just to give you some examples, some of the big names. The pool is much bigger, but you also have a choice, and it happens that you already know someone you met previously, or you worked with, or who was your maybe supervisor when you were doing your master's, and you would like to suggest well, his or her name. But that's also possible. So again, you have two choices. You can pick someone from the pool we have, people who are ready to work for us already, and they are ready to help. Or you can suggest someone from your network. But again, it's our decision to approve them or not, because there are certain requirements for supervisors. They have to be experienced scholars, have some publications in the field, because it's a certain skill to supervise someone during the PhD journey. What also happens, that I can see that from the history, our history with PhD program, is that sometimes students choose those professors who are teaching one of the modules from the first year, because they found them really interesting and helpful, and then they want to continue with them during this second and third year. Well, that's of course possible as well. But again, I'm just saying that it's really very important, very crucial to find a supervisor who would be really helpful, you will get on well with, and who will manage, you will manage both the project for 2 years. All right, let's move on. But the question is, who is the PhD for? Well, it's an open question. It's for professionals, practitioners from diverse backgrounds. In the past, it was mostly for scholars or university professors moving up the ladder, yes, from one rank to the other, from lecturers to assistant professors, associate and full professors. But now, well, not necessarily. The world is changing, and in many areas, the titles is important. Again, I'm not sure I'm the best example, but I can say from my experience that really the PhD title, but not just title, but the experience you got, the network you have, the skills you receive, opens so many doors, so many new opportunities. I think I remember I was saying the same last year during the similar session, but after my PhD, I started serving on a few different board of directors in different companies. I opened my own business because I felt confident enough in the area I was studying. I became the dean and then the provost. Started traveling a lot. Really, honestly, it opened so many doors for you. I hope the same will happen to you. So not necessarily it's not necessarily just for the scholars. One maybe fun example, which you may find it funny, but for example, when I was in Dubai, I was the dean in Dubai of a business school in Dubai for 9 years. Well, not from the very beginning, but at some point in Dubai, they started offering what they call golden visas, which allow people to stay for how long? For 10 years, even if they give up the job or don't have a job or they just want to stay in the country. Before that, it was not possible. And then one of the first group of people who were offered the visas were actually people with PhDs in certain fields they needed, like finance, like me, IT, medicine, etc. So it's just an example of what kind of doors can be open. Of course, it's not necessarily applicable to everyone. Okay, let's move on. Fine. So actually, we discussed the curriculum. Yes, as you know, we have this first year, which is fully coursework, mostly focused on research methodology, and 2 subjects which are electives, which are slightly different. All right. Again, I was talking about that already. What is important is the research is really original, so no one has done it before. Even trying to do something, you can find dissertation on a certain topic in a different country, and don't try to copycat and do the same, yes, but in a different country, because then the question is how original it is. But think of an interesting business, research question, because that's very important. Well, again, you will have a diverse team of experienced professors, people who are actively involved in research. You will participate in, as I mentioned, in different seminars, in the doctoral colloquium, just to enhance your research skills. And also on your own, you hopefully will be able to go to 1 or 2 conferences. As GBSB Global, we also plan to have our own business conference, hopefully at the end of the year. So you may also have a chance to attend it. Okay. Well, the world is changing so much that it's difficult to say what kind of education is going to be important for in the next couple of years. Now, no one has a career for life. I think we all have to be ready to change careers every couple of years. But for sure, the better the education you have, the more chances and opportunities you will see. So I would say, I was giving my example, yes, how many doors that opened. For me, I just hope it will happen to you as well. And if you look at these opportunities, all this happened to me, yes, my own company, industry roles in board of directors. Eventually, I decided to go back to education because that's what I'm passionate about. But really, in the meantime, there were, well, very different things I was doing as well. And I wish this could happen to you as well. All right, now just a couple of final things. To start the process, you would have to submit online application to our admission team, and then there are certain conditions. You have to apply your CV, a cover letter, and I mentioned that before, a research proposal. So what kind of topic you would like to explore. And then we meet as a committee and decide whether you have enough professional experience to move on to this level, and you will see the positive decision from admissions if this is the case. Okay. And okay. Actually, no. I anticipated this slide. Yes. So I said it before. So again, you need your CV, personal statement, and then the 2,000-word research proposal. A few other things as well. This will be the completed application, so we can consider you for the program. Then you can see the tuition fee. But having said that, you also can see that we offering up to 50% reduction in tuition. The preference goes to our faculty, alumni, but it depends on the quality of your research proposal, for example, or your background or the previous experience. Okay, I think I'm missing some of the questions people are asking. Yes, there was a question of whether it's synchronous or asynchronous. Very good question. So if we go back to the we don't have to go back, but I can just say that it's partially asynchronous because in the modules, most of the class material would be pre-recorded sessions. So you can study the sessions on your own at any time. It's asynchronous. But then, of course, there are also live sessions. When you meet with the professor, you analyze the content, you have a discussion, you can ask questions. Of course, you will have also some assessments during the modules in the first year. So I would say, answering this question, which I saw briefly, it's both asynchronous and synchronous, because you will have pre-recorded sessions for each of the modules, but also you will have live sessions with the professors. But again, that's flexible in the sense that most of the time you can work on your own during your own time, watching the videos and studying the class material which was presented. Yes, I think that's all. Yes, this is all from my part, and then we can go back to our admission team. By the way, maybe just one more thing. Basically, the PhD program starts only once in a year, in the fall, in October every year. So now we just started the new cohort a few weeks ago, and then we'll be collecting your applications over the year, but then not later than, let's say, July or August 26th, and then sending you the final decisions to be included in the cohort 2026. So that's how the process looks like. Okay, I think that's everything in my part. Again, I will be still here for the QA session if you have any questions, unless I missed unless I missed some of the questions in chat.
First of all, thank you so much. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, and then I will see you later on. Yes, if you have any questions. Okay?
Sure.
Thank you. Over to Sopho.
Yes, thank you so much, first of all, for sharing such an informative presentation and information for the prospective students. Yes, we are having some questions in the chat, and don't worry, please. We will answer all of those questions during our Q&A session. Right now, we were having our current PhD student, Dr. Ulrica, who will share her valuable insights and experience with you. And you can also ask questions to her because she's the one who's actually studying with us. So it's going to be great to hear from her as well.
Thank you, Sopho. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Dr. Dean Patena. Lovely to see you all. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be sharing a little bit of my own PhD journey with you guys. Hopefully, I'll be able to provide some inspiration and some insights on the PhD program. I've currently started my second year. I've just successfully completed my first year. And I must say it's been a huge relief. Looking back, it was a challenging journey, but I'm glad that I am now approaching the second leg of the last stretch, the last 2 years. Just to share a little bit of background briefly with everybody. I have a marketing background, digital marketing, business management, as well as entrepreneurship. I hold an MSc specializing in blockchain technology with GBSB Global Business School as well. And professionally, I have recently launched an innovation agency that I'm very proud of. And it's focused on digital transformation and business model innovation. I also have founded a wellness brand. I am also deeply passionate about wellness and entrepreneurship, as I've mentioned. And the reason I chose the PhD in Innovation Management program was I very much wanted to delve deeper into the academic context of exploring how exponential technologies can redefine global economies, industries, business models, as well as human capital through innovation. My passion for disruptive technologies and innovation is what has led me to pursue the program because it offers a rigorous research approach with having real-world impact. I thought long and hard before deciding to apply for the program, but once I better understood what the program offered, I was convinced that this was the journey for me, and I understood why I wanted to embark on this journey. GBSB Global Business School definitely offers, in my opinion, the best academic online learning environment, as well as online experience for international students that are, studying distance. I am currently based in Namibia, so I speak from experience when I say it is really a seamless online learning experience. It makes it very achievable, and the accessibility to having real-time feedback loops with the professors, the support that it offers has made me feel like I'm not miles away, but almost as if I'm studying in Malta or in Barcelona on a physical campus. So it's really been a pleasurable experience. As I mentioned, the real-time support and continuous feedback loops has been pivotal, as well as something that I have found really profound with GBSB that has helped my academic journey throughout, from my master's up until doing my PhD now, has been their design thinking teaching methodologies, which really has a deep connection to digital innovation and allows you to really approach your academic journey differently. I have really been able to explore new ideas, new concepts. I've had the freedom to push myself academically, which is part of why I think I am now on my PhD journey And I wasn't just content with stopping or finishing with my MSc. So I was also able to align my work with purpose. I think this was also very important for me, designing ethical, human-centered innovation frameworks that create lasting value. For me, personally, the PhD is not just an academic pursuit, but it's a way to really shape the future responsibly and help build more inclusive, intelligent, and sustainable digital ecosystems. Life as a PhD student, well, where do I start? It has certainly been challenging, but what I can say is that it requires discipline, structure, autonomy, and an incredible amount of dedication. Most of my days revolve around research, lots of reading, writing, analyzing data, and continuously refining my ideas. The coursework, especially in the first year, really helps you build a very strong, solid foundation for your thesis and your research proposal. And an example of this, as Dr. Dean Patena mentioned earlier, is the different research methodologies, the quantitative as well as the qualitative research methods really provides a deeper understanding in how to apply them in your research, as well as helping you to decide which methods you would want to use and apply in your thesis going forward. I think on a master's level, you touch on them, but you don't go into it as deeply as you do in the first year of your PhD. So I definitely learned a lot. The truth is that the journey is not easy. It is really very demanding and mentally challenging, often involving late nights, tight deadlines, and moments of even self-doubt, which my supervisor has reminded me is completely normal and part of the journey. It requires a clear sense of purpose to keep you on track. I think this is really important. I would say know your why. Understand from the get-go why you want to pursue your PhD. And throughout the journey, remind yourself continuously of why you have started. When the challenges arise, this will carry you through. Having a strong sense of autonomy in managing your own progress, setting realistic goals, and staying accountable to yourself are skills equally as important as the research itself. Despite it being very challenging and tough, the good news is it's also very deeply rewarding. Every obstacle that you overcome and every breakthrough you achieve really reflects your commitment, perseverance, and growth. And this shapes you into a more capable and self-directed researcher. I am very grateful to GBSB Global Business School for the support that they've offered. Their teaching approach, I think, is very distinctive because it blends academic depth with real-world context and relevance. The program encourages students to link theory with practice through research, case studies, collaboration with industry professionals, and this really ensures that learning stays grounded and applicable. What makes it especially valuable is the opportunity to develop research for publications and also the exposure that we as PhD students have been offered in attending international academic conferences. We recently had the privilege of attending the InnoVision 2025, and it was a really, really great experience and opportunity. The fact that we could attend the conference online made it achievable, and you really learn so much and you push yourself in your current research domain. after having finished the first year and having finalized my research proposal, attending this conference, looking at applying my current research topic to new domains, new themes within academia, and seeing, basically looking at it in a different perspective. And it helped me also to go deeper in my own research, and understand better what I'm trying to pursue through my research thesis. So that was very, very interesting. Besides the opportunity to attending academic conferences, what I also really enjoyed was experiencing the GBSB Global Research Center that was launched this year. I think there were a lot of milestones on this journey. Being part of the first PhD cohort has been a privilege, but also experiencing how the program has expanded with a research center. It has provided us as PhD students with even further support throughout the process, offering mentorship, feedback, as well as access to resources that really help redefine our ideas and strengthen our research quality along the way. We're excited to have our work published in the Book of Abstracts, as Dean Patena mentioned. So that is also another milestone that I am personally very proud of. Combined with a diverse international learning environment and a faculty who are really genuinely invested in each student's growth, the experience is both intellectually rigorous and personally rewarding. It is really designed to help students think critically, create responsibly, and contribute meaningfully to the future of innovation. A key strength of the program is the access to highly qualified academic supervisors. They each bring, I think, a unique sense of research expertise as well as industry experience, and it has offering each student personalized guidance and support throughout our doctoral journey. Dean Patena actually mentioned earlier about, you could be in a position where you want to select a supervisor. And for me personally, I was one of the students that really connected with one of the modules that we had, one of our lecturers. And I initially chose a different supervisor from the supervisors list that I felt would be the best strategic choice for my thesis. But as I went through my first year, I had such a good connection with one of my lecturers, and the support that she had offered in two of the modules that she taught gave me a sense of support, and I felt comfortable in then selecting her as my supervisor. And that was quite interesting because she was not on the list. So I think have an open mind and trust your instincts, because I think the support that the supervisor offers you, it's important to also have a connection with that person, because the motivation, the guidance, you need to have a sense of or a basis of trust. And sometimes that is found earlier rather than later. So just something to consider. I think on the topic of study-life balance, that is really also very interesting, because I personally find myself sometimes very consumed with wanting to better my ideas. And, I'm so passionate about innovation and I love designing and creating that I sometimes get a little carried away, and I have to bring myself back and remind myself that part of the success of this journey is also taking care of my overall well-being, mental, physical, emotional health, and being grounded in maintaining a balance, because when you find balance in structure, you are able to deliver better results. When you're tired and exhausted, sometimes you have more creative blocks and you're running in circles with your research, with your ideas. You could just be more productive if you take moments to pause and reset. So I think having a healthy study life balance while managing your studies, your work, your private life requires focus and also a growth mindset. So being really mindful and intentional about how you spend your time and what you want to achieve is important. For me, a key to approach your PhD as both an intellectual pursuit as well as personal development, excuse me, is both equally important on this journey. Again, a disciplined routine, as I mentioned, effective time management make all the difference. I have found that organizing my weeks well in advance, setting clear priorities, and creating blocks of focused time for research and work, as well as self-reflection, has helped me stay on top of the workload without feeling overwhelmed and overcome with the tasks at hand, because the deadlines are quite important that you meet these deadlines. You don't want to fall behind. You want to keep a momentum going. This has also allowed me to have enough time to then switch off, reset, and recharge, and come back to my work with, a fresh outlook and excited about exploring new ideas and not being drained. So I think also it's important to understand that your PhD, unlike your master's or any other academic program, one thing that stood out for me is it really requires a different mindset, a new way of thinking. It's definitely more scientific. So the way that you think about your work is definitely different. So you need to read a lot and you need to be open to continuous learning. This is really essential in expanding your knowledge base, and it keeps your ideas, again, fresh and your research relevant. Beyond planning and organization, what truly sustains progress, in my opinion, is grit, perseverance, and determination. Those are my sort of key success factors that keep me grounded and motivated as well. My advice to anyone that wants to pursue this PhD program, I would say don't aim to simply just complete your PhD, but push yourself beyond your own limits. Strive to contribute to cutting-edge research ideas that challenge existing thinking and create a real impact. Balancing study, work, and business takes effort, but it also builds resilience and character. So remember to remain curious, and the process becomes more than just earning a title. It becomes a journey of personal mastery as well as transformation. I have personally faced moments of imposter syndrome, especially in the early stages of my research, but I've also learned that it's all part of the journey, and pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone is exactly the nexus where learning and innovation meet, and you discover that you're capable of more than you thought before you started this journey. So it's very exciting. My career aspirations, this includes becoming a global thought leader in innovation management frameworks, driving the design of ethical, intelligent, and inclusive economic systems in the digital economy. I'm passionate about bridging research and practice and transforming complex technologies like AI, blockchain, and tokenization, Oracle networks into simplified real-world applications that can help organizations and society at large thrive in the digital age. My interests particularly span across knowledge and creator economies. In academia, I strive to empower the next generation of passionate innovators from diverse industries to thrive in the field of innovation management, inspiring limitless learning through curiosity and finding solutions to pressing issues. The PhD program at GBSB Global has been instrumental in this journey. It has developed my academic rigor, expanded my freedom in research, as well as exposed me to an international network within the scientific community to explore transformative ideas and translate them into practical solutions. My advice to all of you would be, when preparing your PhD application, in how to prepare and apply, start with clarity and passion. Choose a topic that truly excites you, something that you're curious about and really care deeply about, enough to explore for the next few years. Because passion does matter. It's what will keep you motivated and curious when things get challenging. For your research proposal, I recommend a clear and focused approach. Explain the problem that you want to explore, why it is important, how your research could make a real contribution. And also show that you understand the academic context, but don't feel pressure to have all the answers, because it's just the beginning. You will be refining it a lot before finalizing it at the end of your first year. The first year modules are designed to help you refine and iterate your research proposal until you have your final draft. So just take the first step, and you'll see when you look back, you'll see how far you've come, and it'll all make sense. And lastly, believe in your vision. Stay disciplined towards achieving your goals and lean into your passion for research. As I mentioned, choose research that truly inspires you and commit to excellence always, and never stop learning. A PhD is a new way of thinking, a different academic mindset. It isn't about proving what you already know. It's about uncovering what the world has yet to understand. I really hope that you embark on this journey, and I wish you all well. I hope I was able to share some insights, and feel free to ask me any questions. I apologize for my groggy voice. I'm a little under the weather. I hope you could hear me and I was clear enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was indeed very valuable to share your personal experience and insight with the prospective students. Now floor is for the prospective students to ask their questions. In the meantime, we are having one unanswered question about if it's possible to have teaching a job at your school during the study. That's the question from the student.
Well, yes, of course. Actually, we have one example of our faculty still teaching for us and taking the PhD program at the same time. As we said, the program is delivered online. Of course, it's not fully asynchronous. There are some live sessions which are synchronous, so you have to have time at a certain moment. But there are not that many of them. So as her example shows, it's quite possible. Of course, demanding, combining, working and studying, especially when it's PhD, it's challenging but possible. Absolutely, yes.
Got it. Thank you so much for answering this question. I don't see any other questions in the chat. So if anyone has any questions, please write in the chat, or you can even speak up and answer your questions directly, and we will make sure to ask your questions directly, and we will make sure to answer them. All right. Also in the chat, you can see that if you want to book and schedule your meeting with admission advisors, there's the link in the chat. So you can go ahead and schedule the meeting with our admission team members from the link. Well, I assume no one really has any questions. You can always reach out to us via email, and or you can also reach out to admissions with any questions related to admission process, and I will send you. Oh, okay. The question is if the program is fully funded.
Well, we offer scholarships, which could be up to 50% of the original tuition fee, but it's not fully funded unless you are a Maltese citizen, where we have a special program. It's called Get Qualified, and the Maltese government provides some additional special support to its citizens. Otherwise, no, we just offer up to 50% of scholarship to the tuition fee which we were showing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Also, I shared admissions email in the chat for any enrollment related questions or the program related questions. You can reach out to our admission team members, and they will make sure to respond to you via email. You can also book the meeting with the admission team members. I see no other questions in the chat. Thank you so much. Okay, another question.
Yes, yes, okay. Yes, we actually have two options in which the program can be delivered. One is full-time, which is 3 years, and the other is part-time, which can be up to 5 years. So if you, well, for some reasons, well, for example, you combine working and studying, you think you won't be able to devote as much time as needed within the 3 years, then yes, you can still opt for the part-time option. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your amazing questions and for your interest one more time, for joining for today's info session, for attending today's info session. So if there is no other questions for today, then wish you amazing day ahead as well as the weekend, because it's approaching. Thank you so much, Dr. Victor. Thank you so much, Dr. Ulrica, for attending today's session. And goodbye to you all.
Goodbye. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.